Everyone, and welcome to another opusFlow webinar. Today we will be discussing our newest ticket module to all of you. And I think most of the people listening will already be using opusFlow, and some of you will also be using our ticket module already. But we've recently launched quite a large update to it, which comes with some new cool features, and we believe that it was a great time to do another webinar, a bit more in depth into the module and see how you can implement our new features to your organization. So what we'll be discussing today is how do you create tickets using the different ticket overviews like our new sidebar overview, and how can you integrate tickets into your workflow. Well, I think it's good to start off by explaining a little bit about tickets. What are they? Because well, we have our own task module and we have our ticket module, and there are some slight differences. And it's good to know what are the differences and why do you want to use tickets in some cases and whether you want to use tasks. So tickets are is our take on task management. Tickets can be easily created anywhere into the system, and they are similar to tasks, but they have some more advanced features included to them. So they are characterized by their own type, so you can categorize them on a different type. They have their own statuses. You can assign them to either yourself, others, or multiple people, so you can better collaborate on larger tasks via tickets. They also have a chat functionality, and you'll receive updates if a ticket is updated by someone you're collaborating with or the person you've assigned the ticket to. Tickets are also public to a degree, so you can, with authorization, you can allow your colleagues to see your tickets as well. So let's say someone is ill or isn't really able to finish all of their tasks for the day. They can ask you or another colleague to jump in, and you can work from their ticket overview as well. And we believe that this is a great module, especially for project managers and managers in general, to keep structure in what needs to be done, who's doing what, and the workload that's currently within your organization. So that's very briefly explained how tickets work, and we'll go a bit more in depth in what makes them unique and why you could start using them. Well, let's start off by why should you use tickets within opusFlow? Well, one of the challenges for every organization is to keep track of the work that needs to be done. I always give an example of a callback request. Oftentimes, a client would call to your general phone number with a question, or they need to speak to a specific person, but maybe that person is busy, is in a meeting, or is at another client at the moment. It's quite common to either leave a sticky note on their desk, or you would ask a colleague, hey, tell them to call this client back, or you send a WhatsApp message. One of the challenges that comes with this way of working is that you tell someone to do it, or you give them an assignment, but you have no idea afterwards if it's being done. And this is something that isn't always a bad thing, especially if it's internal tasks. But when you need to do something for a client and it's not being done within a reasonable time frame, this can really hurt your service levels. And and we try to tackle this via tickets as well. So I quickly mentioned that tickets have their own types and statuses, and you also receive notifications for them. You can easily create them anywhere in the system. So I'll hop over to the ticket overview to show you how a ticket looks like, what you can do with it, and how you can start using it. So what we're looking at right now is the general ticket overview. What I have here are all the tickets in this environment. And these are structured tickets and unstructured tickets, which we'll go a bit more in depth to later. Um, in this overview, these are all my tickets, and I've also created an overview for my tickets and Scarlett's tickets. So these are all the tickets within the organization. These are my tickets and Scarlett tickets, and I can easily change the overview to see my own others tickets, and this is especially useful for managers. We create different filters via the filter template overview. This is something that we have a video about on our YouTube channel as well, which you can easily create too, which I would definitely recommend to create some more structure for yourself. Well, what are we looking at the moment? You see various things here. You see the title, and this is something that you fill in when you create a ticket, or is done automatically. And I already quickly mentioned that tickets can be, you can look at tickets from a structured and an unstructured way. A structured way of using tickets would be integrating tickets into your workflow. And unstructured would be something like the example I started with. Someone uh, calls the front desks, needs to speak to someone, he's not available, and you want to leave a callback request from that person. In that situation, it would be an unstructured ticket that I could create from here or directly from the project page. And I would receive a notification once the ticket is completed. In this overview, I see all the tickets, and I can also switch from overviews. I can show all the completed tickets as well by clicking on this slider, and I can see, well, what are the tickets/tasks for today, yesterday, tomorrow. Maybe I want to look at all the expired tickets that we didn't finish yesterday or the day before. And maybe someone forgets to include a due date to a ticket. This is, I would say, relatively dangerous. So this is something you should really look out for as well. Well, if we change the overview to today, you would see that for today, the organization has a few tasks that needs to be done. If I go to my overview, I would see a task with the type lead follow-up. I have some general to-dos to complete today, and I have a quote that I need to follow up. What you can do from here is you can open a ticket by simply clicking on the name, and it would bring you to the dialog of where you can manage everything. The idea with tickets is that they are linked to either a project, a contact, a supplier, a warehouse, or maybe a planning entry. So let's say a site visit. Each ticket always has a type, and this can be a general to-do. This can be something like a lead follow-up or related to maybe an invoice that needs to be sent. And you can also filter on this. So if you're a manager or you're working on the finance department, you would create an overview where you look at all the finance tickets. What you see here is a chat functionality. This updates live. So if you're collaborating on a task with someone else, you can use the chat function, ask for some more clarity if someone forgot something or you need some more information. In this case, this is a ticket or a task that we need to send a small gift to a returning customer. Jago has an installation of solar panels from us, and he also wants, for example, a heat pump. Well, this is a returning customer. We want to up our service level, and we're gonna send him a small gift now that he's accepted our second quotation. This ticket is assigned to me, and when I create a ticket, I decide who I want to assign the ticket to. I can create a ticket here via the top right in this overview, new ticket, or I can create it from the sidebar on the right. This sidebar is visible at all times. If you're on a project within the PV designer, on your calendar, Everywhere in opusFlow, you can always access this. So you can easily create a task at any point. If I create a ticket, it asks me a few things to fill in. Obviously a title. So I could say, let's say I need to order solar panels. This is for me a general to-do. I want to remind myself that I do this, for example, before tomorrow. I can specify the date or just leave it on the entire day. I want to do it before 3, so I'm certain that they are shipped out the same day. I can either link this to a project, a contact, a supplier, a company warehouse, etc. In this case, I'll leave it open. I could link it to a supplier, but I know where I'm going to order them. And I can also link this to a specific department. If my work preparation department always does the purchasing, I could assign it to the entire department, so I don't have to assign it to one specific person who may not be at the office that day. You also see here that it automatically assigns yourself to a ticket. Here you see Simon, but I can also assign various other people to this ticket. I could assign it to Jago if he usually does the purchasing, or maybe Scarlett in this case. And you can collaborate on one task together. After creating the ticket, it will take you to the overview here, and you'll see again the chat function. You can also include any attachments here. You can upload images and you can ask questions. I could elaborate to Scarlett, for example, that I want, for example, 100 Yinko solar panels. And then she'll have some more context of what we need to order. Once Scarlett has seen the ticket, she starts ordering it, or someone else from the work department, they can put it in progress, maybe on hold if they're not in stock. And once they've completed the task, they update it to completed. Well, what's very nice about the ticket module is that we also get updates. So one of the challenges from our first example was a callback request. If I ask my colleague to call a client back, maybe he doesn't have time for it at the moment, but I expect him to do it. I have no idea if by the end of the day he's actually called the client back. With this, if I create a ticket for it and I put the deadline on the end of the day, I can easily keep track of it. I'm also assigned to it. So from my ticket overview on today, I can see, for example, the small gift that we need to send out. This is due by today. By the end of the day, I know if it's completed, yes or no. Same for this billing address that was incorrect. If Scarlett or another colleague updates either the status, uploads any files to the chat function, or places a reply here, I get a notification for this. So on the top right, you would see a notification, and in the middle of your screen for a few seconds, you get a pop-up as well. I can easily click here, and I see that I've received a new ticket comment. I can also click on this notification, and it would automatically link me to this specific ticket. In this case, it's also about the billing address that was incorrect. And I asked in the chat for some more context, and if they can reply on this ticket, send me the billing address so I can send out the final invoice to the client. In this case, Michael replied. He said the billing address is opusFlow, Maagdenburgstraat 5. And from here, I can say, okay, this is fine. I can put it on completed and save. Now I get a notification about Michael replying to this. Once I completed it, everyone assigned to it or who has put notifications on for the ticket will get an update that I completed this. This allows you to easily work together, assign tasks to each other, and keep updated on them. I don't have to walk to Scarlett, ask them, well, how is the ticket? How's it going with this? Have you completed this? Which can really interrupt the workflow of each other. In this case, we finished the ticket, and it also, well, it's gone from my to-do list for today. I can switch and show all the completed tickets. And here I see I have 3 more things to do for the day. These would be unstructured tickets because this is something that came up, needs to be fixed. I create a ticket for it. If I want to close the notification, I can mark it as red here. What we're looking at right now is our general ticket overview, but we've integrated this into various parts of opusFlow. I briefly showed you the sidebar on the right, where you can create a ticket, but you can also open your ticket list here. This is another overview that, let's say, if I'm on a project overview right now, for example here, I can also look at my tickets for the day. I have 7 things to do for today. Small gift to returning customer. It's all new and it needs to be done by the end of today. What I can also do is I can pin a ticket. You favorite it, and if you click on here, it is pinned to the top right. This allows you to easily keep track of it. If you're working on one task ticket for a little bit longer, I can always pin it so I can go back to it easily, especially if I have quite a large backlog of things that I need to do. From here, it works the same. I can just click on it. It opens my ticket. I can look at some more context. Oh yeah, I needed to send this gift. I'm going to do this before the end of the day. You can also open the pin ticket directly here, so you don't have to open your ticket list first. I can just click here and it opens my pin ticket. Well, what are we looking at right now? We're looking at the project overview. This is our Kanban overview, and this is an overview that a lot of clients use. It gives a structured overview from left to right of various statuses. And in this case, I only show 3 statuses for this webinar. I quickly talked about structured and unstructured tickets. We just went over unstructured tickets, but the real beauty in tickets within opusFlow is that you can seamlessly integrate them into your workflow. Each ticket has their own type and their own statuses, and you can really go in depth into making them work together with your workflow within opusFlow. So if I would look at the to-do ticket, it has the status new, in progress, on hold, or completed. But if I go into a quote follow-up ticket, it has completely different statuses, specifically made for this type of task. The first one would be a check-in. After that, I'm going into a more commercial follow-up where I really try to sell the quotation. And from here, I can also say the quotation is put on hold, it's rejected, or I close the ticket after, for example, the client has accepted it. And the cool thing is that this also works with automations. So let's say I've created this ticket, or it's automatically created for me, and I update the status to quote on hold. I can, via the automations module, say I want my project status to automatically update to the status quote on hold. What makes this really valuable is that you always have a due date for it. So in the example of a quote follow-up, after I've issued a quote, well, obviously you need to follow up on the quote, and this is something you can do in a very unstructured way. But if you integrate tickets into your workflow, you can do this automatically. You can say, I want a ticket to be created automatically 2 days after I issue the quote. Then I want to check in on the client, see if we've received everything correctly. And then if I talk to the client and he says, well, I'm really interested, but I'm still waiting for my renovation to be done before I want to go further, I can update the status to quote on hold. Via the automations module, I can say I want my status to automatically update to on hold, and I always have a due date for it. So I discuss with the client when do you expect it to be done. He can say by the end of December, and I can put a due date in for the end of December, and then by the time it's time to call the client again, it's in my list for today. And this is where you really start to reach efficiency levels. You limit the amount of statuses you need in opusFlow, and you can allow tasks to run parallel. It reaches a certain stage and you can create multiple tickets automatically, always the same, and it helps you manage different tasks at the same time. I want to give a quick example of this because I think this is where you really reach efficiency as an organization, and especially if you're growing an organization, want to have a standardized process, this is key. Let's say you have a project on new lead. This always needs to be empty. If a new lead comes in, this is the first one I'm going to call because if I have another lead that I've tried calling various times, this one is going to have my priority. So I would drag this to lead follow-up, and it would automatically create a ticket for me to follow up on this task. I can open the ticket from here, follow up. I can open it from my ticket overview in the Kanban or in my general overview. If I open this ticket, I can have some context for it. This is a lead follow-up ticket with some call attempts, and I can update the status according to what the client does. It's on new right now. I'm going to have my first call attempt, and if the client doesn't pick up the phone, I'm going to say call attempt 2 with an email. And I can maybe say voicemail, left a voicemail. And then I can update the due date to tomorrow. I'm going to call him tomorrow. I called him today at around 12. So I'm going to call him tomorrow at around 3. Hopefully he's available then. I save it. And now the client would receive an automatic email that I've tried calling them, couldn't reach them, and I'm going to try again tomorrow. This is something that you would usually have to do manually, which takes a lot of time and is often simply not done. This is a way to up your service, look more professional as an organization, and really simplify and automate tasks that you would otherwise not do or have to do manually. Well, where can you see your tickets? You have your tickets on your project page from the Kanban. You have a dedicated tab for it. If I open this project, each project also has its own tab for tickets. You have your general ticket overview, which we saw where we started at. And on your homepage, you also have your tickets. The tickets on your homepage are only your own tickets. From the general ticket overview, you can also see tickets from your colleagues. If I go back to this overview, because this is something I think is very valuable for managers as well. One of the challenges is obviously who's doing what, who's very busy, who has some more time on their hands, who can help out when I'm getting busy. If you register everything via tickets, you can also look into the tasks of the people you are managing. In my case, I have my tickets and I created an overview for Scarlett. So I know I have 3 tickets. Scarlett has 4. I can easily look at the things she needs to do. Today, she's going to follow up on 3 quotations and she's going to follow up on a new lead. If by the end of the day, I notice that these tickets are not completed yet, I can ask them, well, what happened? Did something come up? can I hop in, help you out tomorrow so we can finish all our tasks in time? With one click, I can look into one person's open tasks. And this is something that really simplifies your work as a manager and creates a structure for you. Well, one of the things that most people will be curious about is, how do I start using tickets? Well, everyone can use them immediately. When you start using opusFlow, you start with a few template tickets. They have their own statuses, but you can go a bit further into this and create them yourself. From your management tab, where you have all your settings, you can make all the adjustments to personalize your environment. You can go into the settings, tickets, and here you see the different ticket types. If I create a ticket here, it will show these different types. I can create a new type here as well, which we'll call webinar. And I can add multiple statuses. I can create as many statuses as I want or that I need for a specific task. So this would be, for example, new webinar prep, need help, which I can put it on if I need help from a colleague, and it's completed. I can also add a default amount of days until the deadline. For now, that's not relevant, and I can give it a specific color. If I create a new ticket again, this will be included in my list. Webinar, I can give it one of these statuses, and I can easily start managing my work from here. This is organization specific. I would always recommend having a to-do and something to follow up leads and quotations. Those are the most important ones. Everything else is really dependent on how your organization works or want to work. And then one of the things that is also good to know is authorization, because I mentioned that these tickets are public, and as a manager, you can look at each other's tickets, which is in most cases not a bad thing, but there are sometimes people who you don't want to give access to all tickets. From authorization, you can say people can have access to the general overview of tickets. And if you want employees to only have access to their own tickets, you can hide this overview for them, give them access to the tickets on the home screen, and maybe give them access to the tickets on their own projects. That way, any tickets assigned to a project they're working on, they can see, but they cannot see all the tickets created or updated by someone else. I think that's the easiest way of hiding tickets from people who just need to focus on their own work. Tickets can be created everywhere. You have, from your common overview, you have a button here, and then if you're on a dedicated page where you can assign a ticket to, they are always automatically assigned to that page as well. So if I would click on new ticket here, it would automatically be connected. It's linked to this specific project. This way I can always find it easily. If I create a webinar ticket here or a general to-do, let's do webinar now, and I put the due date on today, create. It's linked to this specific project. If I at some point open this project on a later stage, I can always look back at older tickets or open tickets. From my ticket overview, I can also easily navigate to the place that it's connected to. For example, we just created a webinar ticket. I see that it's linked to Carlotta's project for solar panels. If I click here, it opens the project. The last thing I want to quickly show you is pinning the tickets. I showed you, you can favorite, unfavorite it. If you click on favorite, it switches here. And you also see a bell notification here. These are two things that are good to know. If someone places a comment, updates a status, you would get an update on the top right here. For example, the new ticket comment that we just received from Michael. And you can see a notification here as well. So if I have 3 ticket updates, it would show a 3 here. And it would also see it here. I can imagine that not all you want to update on. You can also unsubscribe from updates on the ticket by clicking on the bell notification. It turns gray and I won't receive any updates on this. I think we've discussed most of the things regarding tickets. We talked about the various overviews that you can have, how to create tickets, where to assign them to people, one person, multiple people. You can obviously also assign it to different departments. You have a chat functionality here, which is updated live. You can also do this from your phone. Afterwards, assign it to multiple people, and you can update your statuses via the top right or the side view here. If anyone is interested in getting to learn more about tickets, maybe they want to have a consultant look at their environment, see how we can implement tickets into their way of work, you can always contact your consultant. You can contact sales for this, or even support, who can answer some quick questions to help you get started. Thank you guys for listening to this. If you are not using opusFlow at the moment, I would recommend taking a look at our website, schedule in a demo, get to know everything about the other modules that we offer, and see if our software is something that can help scale up your business. Thank you guys for listening, and have a great rest of your day.